Alright, well, I wasn't going to make anything tonight. I'm going to try to make this quick, and I'm going to bed early so I can work on the Nebraska game thing after work tomorrow. I mean, there is so much coding, I can't even keep up with it right now. The Dolphins game, 41-14. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I got so much to look into. But anyway, this one was the most interesting one I seen just a second ago. So it was the Washington Nationals versus the Philadelphia Phillies today, and their pitcher got in a fight in the dugout with their other player here. But anyway, I'll just point it out here. Let's play the video. Check out the score, 4-4 on the fourth pitch.
Something going on in the dugout.
Number 58 is going to fight number 34. I mean, if you've watched my previous videos, you know what I'm talking about. It's so ridiculous.
And Papelbon went right after Harper.
Just want to rewind it here.
Something going on in the dugout.
I want to show it one more time.
Makes that catch.
4-4 on the fourth pitch. Remember yesterday I said Pope Francis went into Independence Hall at exactly 4:44 p.m. I didn't know exactly what that meant. I still don't fully know what it means. Someone in my comments actually talked about how in Roman numerals it's basically like a backwards 6 if you do the mirror, so it would be a 666. But also if you did it in Roman numerals, it would be 444. Well, not technically, but a 4 would be like that. And I is the 9th letter, and V is the 22nd. 922, just like the day Pope Francis came to the United States even. So interesting. Also, look at it. It's such a joke. Jonathan Papelbon, kind of like the Papal, the Pope. I mean, come on. That's so ridiculous. How do people not believe this? How do people not see this? It's so ridiculous. It's the Philadelphia Phillies playing Washington. The Pope just went to Washington, and then he was in Philadelphia. His last day in Philadelphia was today when this game was played. Papelbon. I mean, give me a break. And these are the two players, Bryce Harper, Jonathan Papelbon. In Pythagorean Gematria, they both add up to 65. Now, I've been talking about this number and this number a ton of times lately because the Pope became Pope on 3/13 of 13 even. So 3/13, significant, or you could write it like this, like they do in other countries. Interesting, 600, 3 score, and 6 adds up to both of them. And whatever. Oh, also, interesting about the number 65 here, the 65th prime number. Let me find it here, down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 313. What are the odds of that? The score was even 12-5. Like the Philadelphia train wreck that was on 5/12. And I've talked about all the coding with that and how it tied into the Pope's visit. All kinds of stuff. I mean, it just keeps coming over and over and over. Yet, you know, everybody I know thinks I'm crazy. And it's just so ridiculous. Even the guy that number 58 who fought him, Papelbon, he was 4-3 going into this game. When the game entered the 8th, whatever. So they ended up losing, so now he's 4-4. So that fight happened when the score was 4-4 on the fourth pitch, and this guy ended up losing the game, and now his record is 4-4. He's even 34 years old, born on 11/23, which we talked about. Novum used to be 9 on the Roman calendar, so it could be a 9/23 reference even. But interesting, he used to play for the Phillies too, from 2012 until this year. He got traded on July 29th. But interesting, it says the amount of games that he's played, or games played here, 58. Maybe they haven't updated it. Maybe today was 59. I know I was running into that yesterday with some of the college stuff, but interesting. It's either after his 58th game or today was his 58th game when this fight happened. He's number 58. Interesting, too, it talks about his contract here with the Phillies, and it was on a 4-year, $50 million contract with a vesting option for a 5th year, bringing the total contract value to $60 million. and then the deal became official November 14th of 2011. But, I mean, $60 million. Well, he got traded to the Phillies exactly 60 days ago even. Just pull it up here. He got traded this day, or to Washington. I said the Phillies, but he got traded from the Phillies to Washington on this day, and then today was the day that they had that article about him fighting in the dugout. 60 days. 60 has been just all over the place lately. Moses Malone. I pull it up, but if you just go back and watch previous videos, I've explained it so many times. But I guess I'll add one more to it, I guess. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but in these articles, so whatever, it was 4-4 on the fourth pitch, and then it said his record was 4-3, so since he was like a saver or whatever, I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't make his record 4-4, now that I think about it. But I mean, even this, 4 comments on this article from 2000, I guess from July 29th, 4 comments, even talks about how he was consistently one of baseball's best relief pitchers for the last 4 years. But anyway, the word 4 in Gematria, in simple Gematria, the word 4 adds up to 60. And, you know, as a whatever, just as a joke or whatever, I just typed in Pope Papelbon, just because it refers to the Pope, even though like Papel is actually with an A. But Pope Papelbon, look what it is in Gematria. 133. I mean, what are the odds of that? So then this was the guy that he got in a fight with, Bryce Harper. Interesting, he's age 22. Haven't really talked about 22 lately, but in the Nebraska game yesterday, one of the big things about it was they blew a 22-point lead. And Michigan, I talked about all these things, that how they tie in together, and Michigan beat BYU, who was ranked number 22, and now Michigan today is ranked number 22. So, I mean, they're starting to build this in there, the BB even. And way back in the early NBA season, I mentioned 22 over and over and over and over. Russell Westbrook was surrounded with 22, or 222, and then he got all them triple doubles. So, interesting. Couple interesting things about this guy. So he's number 34. It even says down here that he chose number 34 because of Mickey Mantle. If I can find it here again. Whatever. He said he chose the word number 34 because I've always loved Mickey Mantle, and 3 and 4 equals 7. Well, that's kind of weird. I mean, people don't do anything by numbers, but 3 and 4 equals 7. That's why he wanted to be this. But interesting about Mickey Mantle is that he played with the Yankees with Yogi Berra, who just died on 5/12. And like I said, the score, or he didn't die on 5/12, he died on 9/22, the same day that Pope Francis came to the United States. But he was born on 5/12, the same day of the Philadelphia train wreck, and also the score of this latest game. Also says that Bryce Harper had his longest home run on April 18th, 2015, a 461-foot home run to center field against the Philadelphia Phillies. So interesting, it would be against the Philadelphia Phillies. Interesting, too, that day to today's day is 162 days apart, or 5 months, 9 days. But 162 is special to baseball. There's 162 regular season games in the Major League Baseball. That's what the Washington Nationals are going to end up playing because they're not going to make the playoffs. But Major League Baseball in Gematria even adds up to 162. And as I keep looking here, because I don't even watch baseball. That's why it's so ridiculous. I never watch it. Once in a great while, I'll watch baseball. I'll watch the playoffs or whatever. But, it's so rigged. Anyway, it says 3 games ago, or he was suspended for 3 games for a throw at Manny Machado, in the 9th inning on September 25th was when this game was. Or September 24th, I'm sorry. September 24th, but he appealed it so he could come back and play against the Phillies, who was his former team. It even says in here, Washington said Papelbon appealed, making him eligible to pitch Friday night against the Philadelphia Phillies. We traded him to Washington in July. I mean, so interesting. Baltimore even won 4-3 that game, or in the 9th inning of Baltimore. So yeah, 4-3 victory. So interesting. And a couple more things I wanted to point out. So the original article here, Jonathan Papelbon and Bryce Harper scuffle in Washington dugout. Look at the gematria of scuffle and Washington dugout. Scuffle and Washington dugout. 313. I mean, what are the odds of that? Even in a Pythagorean gematria, that adds up to 115, just like 58. He was number 58, or is number 58, 115. I also know that I'm looking at it more, I get the joke a little bit more. So this guy's number 34, so he popped out or whatever, and that's the whole thing was about how he didn't hustle to first base, and that's what the whole argument was about, supposedly in this article. But 34, like 3 4s, and it was on, the score was 4-4 on the 4th pitch. The 3 4s, he goes into the dugout and gets into a fight with number 58, so that, and then it was like right in between, like this, and then the 5th pitch. So the 5th pitch in the 8th inning, even 5-8. But whatever. We're just gonna leave it at that. There's probably more. It's pointless to even look into it as far as right now, because to me it's just a straight up joke. I mean, the name Papel, and the same day the Pope is leaving town, whatever. I'm sure even, like I said, I had to work all day, didn't get to watch any of these, so I'm sure this game was probably rigged. The Jets even had 17 points. The Pope was in Washington, New York, and Philadelphia. Interesting that these two teams would play each other, and then Washington played, the Phillies played the the Nationals. And it's just ridiculous. Even this adds up. 24-17 adds up to 41. Just like I talked about with the Miami Dolphins. 14-41 against Buffalo, which is in New York as well. And on the little highlight of the game, they say Miami's defense was MIA. MIA adds up to 14 even, just like Miami's score. Also, the Ravens, Baltimore, Maryland, they scored 24 points as well, just like the Eagles. So who knows? Like I said, didn't even watch any of these games. So the Chiefs also play tomorrow night. I can't even pull it up now, but they play the Packers. They don't play in Kansas City. I'm sure the game will still be coded with some Moses stuff, though. Oh, here it is right here. But, yeah, because Kansas City plays in the Sea of Red, just like Nebraska Cornhuskers. I also forgot to mention the Washington Redskins played the Giants, so Washington played New York again, the same week that the Pope was in the United States. I mean, that's pretty strange. But, yeah, I'm not lying. I'm done, so have a good night.